But some findings have undermined lines of thought in the West. New research has found that Russians are increasingly feeling distressed and see a bleaker future amid fallout from the Ukrainian invasion. But some of population apparently remains determined. The Open Ideas Institute, a research center focused on disinformation and propaganda, found in a recent survey that nearly 80% of Russians are concerned about their financial well-being. This figure represents a significant increase of 30 points since the question was last asked in May. In a statement sent to Euronews on Monday, OMI founder and CEO Sviatoslav Hnizdovskyi said the increase may indicate a trend in which refrigerator reality is outpacing TV propaganda, which if continued could potentially lead to growing dissatisfaction among the Russian population. Dealing with an angry and hungry crowd may be more difficult than dealing with a small group of protesters who oppose the government's actions on moral grounds. He wrote, just as in the 1917 Russian Revolution, there were shortages of bread and other food. Their shortages, combined with failures on the front lines, played one of the critical roles in social unrest. A scene from the Russian Revolution in an undated photograph. AP1917AP Only half of respondents to OMI's survey believe that the average citizen has all the opportunities to live a good life in Russia. He added, but researchers at Institute, which works in partnership with 5 universities from the US and UK, said Russians' views on daily challenges and future are influenced by their broader political beliefs. The study divided the Russian population into 4 separate groups based on their attitudes towards the status quo: hawks, loyalists, moderates and liberals. While 84% of those surveyed wanted to stay in Russia, 53% of so-called liberals wanted to move abroad. It was also noted that just over 3/4 of this second group of people opposed to the ruling regime were concerned about potential restrictions on leaving the country. Warrior Russians are mostly satisfied with their lives, despite the current problems, the researchers said. However, outbursts of concern began to emerge among those identified as loyalists. That is, those who generally accepted the government's goals but could question its means. Media reports suggest that Russians who have fled the country since invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 may reach hundreds thousands. But it is difficult to reach exact figures. Euronews spoke to Russian expats in Europe in June, protesting the war in his own country. One person we interviewed from St. Petersburg said he fled because of intense pressure. The OMI study, which interviewed more than 1,000 people in Russia, also produced some results contrary to the claims of observers in the West. Meanwhile, despite falling value the ruble, only 45% of respondents expressed concern about devaluation their currency. The